My name is Victor and I work for a Malapur, Chennai-based company called iPLON, and I would like to share some thoughts about what is motivating iPLON to get into this so-called grid congestion management arena. So starting, we know we're all moving in the so-called post-carbon society and environment, and I'm very happy that a lot of young people are enthusiastic and spending a lot of their time and efforts to make this a reality. So basically, a kind of post-carbon where there's a lot of room for renewable energies like PV plants, wind plants, biogas plants, hydro plants. So there's a huge amount of new methods and technologies that's going to come up in the future. So one of the small problems with this renewables is it is not always consistent. So in some parts of rural areas where there's a lot of utility plants or solar plants, it'll come to a so-called congestion. That means the grid is not able to evacuate all the energy that is generated, and then unfortunately we start curtailment or reducing the amount of energy that's being produced, and this is actually basically sad. So there are two methods how to solve if there is excess or too much of renewable energy in the point of connection to the grid. One is the classical method which all the big companies and financial companies do. They want to put a lot of long grid transmission lines and transformers and substations and all those kind of stuff, which is actually very, very expensive, and only very financial strong companies, they can afford to do that. And it takes also years of time to get consents and build all these technologies. And the second alternative is to put more intelligence into the grid. So the intelligence into the grid means you put at the evacuation points so-called congestion management components. We can also call it power plant controllers. And these, they can talk to each other. So wind plant is talking to a solar plant, it is talking to a hydro plant, it is talking to a biogas plant. And what's very nice about it is also talking to the loads. Yeah. So the loads management systems, which are also connected to the electrical vehicle charging stations. So all these are interconnected. So the big advantages by having this intelligent congestion management systems is you don't have to curtail the renewable energy, but you can route it to that place where it can be either stored or intelligently used. So this is the whole concept of this congestion management. And this is going to be a multi-billion industry in the next 5 to 10 years. So I'm very glad that iPLON has products and services, and already we have installed these systems in the Indian market, and we're also thinking how we can enter the international market. By the way, all this congestion management is also used a lot in Germany under the name Redispatch 2.0. So please join us and let's work together to make this congestion management a reality, so that we don't waste renewable energy or curtail it, but route it to the places which is really needed. So thank you very much.
My name is Rahul Sharma. iPLON India, being post-carbon innovation company, we always aim to contribute for the renewable energy sources by overcoming the challenges for the decarbonization, for the digitalization, and for the congestion management. As we all know, India is going through a significant transition, basically getting more focused to the renewable energy sources. India wants to achieve 50% of its energy demand through the non-fossil fuel resources. As we know, like with wind and solar, due to its intermittent nature, it can also bring the issues with meeting the generation and the demand. So on the same time, to support this transition, it is equally important to have the innovations into the power control technology. So with this motivation, iPLON India have decided to have the complete range of grid stability or the congestion management solution, supporting all the different level of voltage and all the different segments. So like on the TSO level, on the very high voltage network, we have the complete range of power plant controller. We called it as a brain PPC, which is basically to support for the round-the-clock power, interoperability of solar and wind and the battery energy storage solutions. And we also have the solar parks power plant controller, or we call it as a solar PPC, and we also have the hybrid PPC, basically making sure the efficient operation of solar and wind together to support the grid as well. And then also for the cluster level, for the solar parks, we also have the master PPC, which makes sure to have the communication with the slave PPCs on the plant ends, and making sure to have the efficient communication with all the slave PPC from a pooling station and from the grid substation. And then on the DSO level, we have to support the medium voltage network also. We have the power factor controller, or we have the voltage stabilized controller also. So we are making sure by injecting or absorbing the reactive power to support the grid in the different scenarios of grid instability, by maintaining the power factor and by maintaining the voltage also within the permissible range. So we also have the microgrid controller, or we called it as a PVDG hybrid controller also. So where we make sure in case of grid unavailability also, we should be able to utilize, or we should be able to maximum utilize the renewable energy. So we make sure to synchronize the renewable energy with the diesel generators, or with the steam turbines and with the gas turbines also. And then we also support the state level regulatory requirements for the grid feed-in management. For that also we have some standard solutions to support the grid feed-in management as well. And with the services, iPLON India has set it up first of its kind of 24/7 365 global operations platform based in Mylapore. So iPLON India, with its decade of presence in Mylapore, now have decided to get to the next level, basically getting global from the Mylapore. So one of the motivation with this IGOP is to contribute into the renewable energy domain by making sure the efficient operation and efficient utilization of renewable energy sources, and on the same time making sure the renewables should be having the high availability and it should be having the less downtime, so that it can be maximum utilized to support the grid. So we offer the maintenance as a service for the renewable energy sets. We will be looking after all your renewable assets, and we will be making the due diligence reports and basically notifying to pinpoint the issues and to pinpoint the predictive maintenance requirements in a renewable energy plant. Service domain in IGOP, basically the platform as a service, where we bring the flexibility for all the different platforms or for all the different stakeholders to have the secured access to the data. Basically making sure the data should be accessible for all the different stakeholders, and making the interoperability between the different system, whether it is field to field or it is cloud to cloud, by supporting the different protocols, SFTP, or it is HTTPS, or it is OPC, or it is MQTT or API. So with this, it brings the great flexibility for all the stakeholders. Like they have to be the interface possibility through the iPLON platform. Like they can quickly exchange the data through their sites or from the other third-party stakeholders and bringing to one common platform. So we really look forward for all your contribution and all your support towards this journey to making grid a bit more strong and making the renewable energy a bit highly efficiently available. Thank you very much.
Hello, I am Kamaleshwaran, Director, Technology and Innovation at iPLON India Private Limited. As said by our CEO, Mr. Victor Tamburaj, the problem with renewable energy resources is to aggregate when it's available and dispatch when it is needed. To solve this problem, we have to modernize the grid at various levels, starting from generating stations, pooling stations, substations, as well as the distribution stations. Like you know that all this comes from this TSOs and DSOs, this transmission and distribution network. So this is a complex network, give the path to flow the electrons but not to store. So it is getting more and more complex while we are having the more and more renewable energy resources with dynamics happening in solar radiation and wind. Here iPLON is giving the solution at various levels with its products from power plant controller, hybrid controller, brain controller and micro grid controllers. So all these things iPLON is trying to control active power, reactive power, power factor of these resources, so that not only to pump more renewable energy generation, but also to support the grid by giving the necessary reactive power support, so that the grid will be more stable to handle these resources and dynamics happening in it. iPLON, with its close partners from Germany, it developed a product as a state of art of technologies by getting the feedback from all these transmission distribution operators from the grid, as well as the power plant generations operators also. So with this we have developed these kind of solutions, as I said, by the power plant controller in various ranges like hybrid, brain, because these different kind of controllability needed in the entire stretch of the electrical grid, so that we could able to stabilize the grid and dynamics happening in renewable energy resources. So here we have been using the latest technologies involved in information technologies as well as the operating technologies to achieve the communication between the infrastructure as well as the those who want willing to involve for the stabilization of the grid, like providing the interoperability and exchange of the data. So we have been using the technologies which will developed by the huge open source communities involved around the world, popularly called as observability stack, with InfluxDB, Grafana, PostgreSQL, Node-RED, Prometheus, etc. So all these things give an infrastructure for the huge dynamic operations happening and fast response needed for the operation of power plant controller, as well as the storage of millisecond level data and to analyze everything. So in this context we have the ready solutions and happy customers in India, and also we have supplied a few systems other part of the world also, and we are also keep working with our partners and also the universities, students, research scholars and professors. In this context, iPLON have trained the people to work with operation technologies and information technologies and the protocols and regulations needed. So with this, the product which we are offering is more stable and powerful to handle the tough situations happening in these conditions. We can install this product generating station, pooling stations and substations, so that if one fails and another automatically take up the job and able to normalize the situations. And these complex situations we are training the people while they have been studying from the universities itself, so that when they are joining hands in this process, they are also effectively helping to address the problems. I also welcome all of you to join with us, work with us to handle this kind of situation effectively to move into the post-government era. Thank you.
Hello, I am Joshna, Operations Director and Chief Information Security Officer at iPLON. iPLON is committed for critical infrastructure security and safety. Hence, through iPLON Academy, we provide such topics like cybersecurity trainings to the staff and the team who has been working with the internet-based IoT solutions. iPLON Sustainable Company, we aim to comply the international and cybersecurity standards for grid stability environments with high quality, reliability and availability for critical power management solutions, and also ensure end-to-end encryptions. We have started and achieved ISO 27001 certification, which ensures the security in the face of critical rising global threats, also with the data protection and sophisticated incident handling processes. We have also adapted information security management system with the policies such as confidentiality, integrity and information protections. For the products and solutions, we have took an initiative and achieved conformity IEC 62443 certification, which is a standard for industrial automation and control systems. This shows the dedication of iPLON in protecting critical infrastructure and integrity of operations. Since we know that in Germany, redispatch is the latest trend to meet the congestion management, here comes VDE 4110 certification. So, for the medium voltage networks. So, through our partners, Solarlog Germany, we have got VDE tested and certified for our management solutions. And also for the part of smart grids, this IEC 62351 comes into the picture, for which we have got certified, which this supports the protocols such as IEC 61850, 6870 and 104. So hence iPLON proudly and happily presents that none of over 100,000 systems the cybersecurity breach has been not successfully happened. And as a sustainable company, we iPLON India respect the standards of international such as United Sustainability Development Goals, German Supply Chain Act, cybersecurity, low carbon footprint and general data protection regulations. Hence, having presence in the RE sector for more than 10 years, with these standards, iPLON meets and achieves the data protection, risk mitigations, global expansions and also sustainability. Thank you.
Myself, Srinath. I am Executive Director of Human Resource and Strategies. iPLON is a networking company which bring our German partners to India like Solarlog, Easy Energy, Stadtwerke Schubishal, Stadtwerke Berlin. So iPLON have done all the product development in Mylapore, with which we are able to export to Europe and USA. iPLON have also various partners in India like Midas, Telemetry and Max Energy in Gujarat. So with which we are creating a solar cluster environment to benefit our customers. iPLON also have MOU and cooperation with Gandhigram Rural Institute, MGR University, VIT and HIT. Thank you.